Adele. Adele is our next speaker. She specializes in helping professionals who are struggling with stress and overwhelm connect with their calling that they want to attract in their lives. And she's particularly skilled at then coaching those individuals as well as in AI as a consultant. She's helped hundreds of clients reduce their anxiety and develop stronger awareness of their purpose, and also then integrate these technologies and tools into their businesses so they can be more productive. She is a frequent speaker and she is a facilitator, often mentoring spiritual entrepreneurs. She works with her clients all over the world on Zoom, but also here at home in Atlanta, Georgia. Her background is in industrial relations and in economics, and she lives in Atlanta, Georgia with her family and her two cats. Welcome to the stage, Adele Wang. Hello, Adele.
Yeah, everyone, what a wonderful event. I totally enjoyed Bruce's talk.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm excited because I know that you love the world of AI and you love personal development. So I know we're going to get into those aspects. I'm very curious about starting out where and what is your perspective on love in the workplace, love in your business, love in leadership?
Well, I could get on my soapbox, but I honestly feel, even though it seems counterintuitive, there's a lot of confusion and overwhelm around AI because it seems so uh, opposite of anything emotional. But at the end of the day, the thing that's going to make everyone here successful, the thing that's going to connect humans to you, your business, your purpose, it's not really going to be how brilliant you are. Let the AI do all that for you. Love is going to be the name of the game. So I'm really excited to see how both of these worlds, as they seem so polar opposites. In fact, we got people trying to simulate love through the AI. I'm like, let's not do that. Let's keep love human and AI, positive, but we don't want to get them confused. And that is where I'm helping people be clear because the last thing we need to do is AIify your heart out there. That is not going to work. But there are a lot of other things that will be very appreciated by your customers, by you, where your life will be easier, they'll be happier, you'll make more money, so you can be you and spread the love. So that's my 20-second spiel about how these worlds must come together for humanity, for society, and you as a business owner. Oh, I think you're muted.
I am muted.
I haven't talked too much. He's like,
That's
oh
okay. I got the axe. It's this topic, we could talk all day about this topic. It's so interesting to me because on one hand, this allows the lovers to love, meaning it allows us to remove certain things that could be just more menial tasks that someone can automate for me, right? It also creates a platform in which the greatest lovers can be seen, right? So we really can appreciate the uh, the people who are authentically really connected to loving others can maybe more readily get to the stage, so to speak, right, in the world, which is great, which is wonderful. But I think to your point, Adele, there's almost like the other side of it, which is preparing ourselves for the fears that this opportunity creates, which is, are we creating it ethically? Are we thinking about the potential consequences, the ethics of AI? And it's almost, again, loving ourselves enough to prepare for the fear, right? Loving ourselves enough to prepare for the potential threats that it introduces.
absolutely. From the business side, from entrepreneurs, because I'm working with all of them, especially real estate. Oh my God, AI has taken over a lot of the commercial real estate stuff. Um, it's kind of like people are sitting with a lot of overwhelm. Like, I know I need to AI find my business. I'm hearing it every day. It's in my feed, but where do I start? Like, and even me as a certified professional in this field, I mean, I spend half the day trying to stay current with the latest because even if you know a little bit about prompt engineering or a little bit about ChatGPT, I'm like, yay. But it's going to be, I mean, things are moving so quickly. So I've decided I'm going to make it human for people, simplify, clarity, so it's that I can help people create the cheapest solution for the biggest result and stay on top of all the crazy scientific stuff so that they don't have to. I'm like, okay, let me just filter all that out so that you can focus on being you and using these tools in a way that can make your life easier, can delight your customers, you'll make more money. And at the end of the day, the hope is that you have more time and more energy to love. I'm not wild about the potential that these tools are just going to make everyone cram 100 times more stuff in the day, kind of like, how the washing machine was supposed to save our time, the computer was supposed to save our time, but human nature being the way it is, we're busier than we've ever been. But I am convinced that AI is going to be a big turning point. It's not just another technology. It's radically different from all the others because it learns. It can now make decisions for you. We've never had a technology that could do that. A car won't drive itself. A cell phone won't just call by itself. Emails won't write themselves. But now you have AI that can make decisions for you, and that can be really useful. Or let's just make sure there's always a human in the loop. You'll hear that a lot in AI circles, the importance of the human in the loop. Because a lot of times businesses just want to say, oh, Adele, I want to AIify everything. I'm like, well, let's simplify this. Let's hone this down one thing at a time. Because I think there's a myth out there. You just put an AI engine out there, you press the button and sit back it's human nature. So it'll be very interesting. I think I love the theme of this whole event, love. And at first I'm like, oh my gosh, is it going to sound weird to talk about AI and love at the same time? But I feel very committed. We've got to find a way. Everyone here wants to serve customers. We've got to find a way for your happiness, for the economy, and for your clients that they get the best service and they can connect with. You can't outsource your heart. It's not possible. And that is what the market is yearning for. So even when people try to make their emails sound like them, which I understand, it's still better if you are actually human, talking to people, networking, and yeah, that's my stance, and that's what I've spent the last couple years helping entrepreneurs do. AI and your purpose. Let's not, there's a way to do it so they don't get tangled.
Yeah, it's so interesting. So I'll use an example. I was leading a radiology IT company where like 85% of the US radiologists worked on our software. And I was the leader for that platform, and we were introducing AI as a reading tool. So for those of you who don't know, radiologists sit and they sit in usually it's a dark room with their screens up, and they are literally looking at all of the images that are coming in, except maybe cardiology and neuro, but they're looking at the majority of these, and they're looking for tumors, they're looking for your typical chest X-ray, all those things. And the AI innovation with the fear was these guys are going to all be gone, right? Like we're not going to need them. And it's so interesting how there's the love side and the fear side of the same thing, right? Yes, it introduced a level of almost like precision that in some cases these radiologists had not had, which yes, moved up productivity, all that kind of stuff. But now they were able to look at the comprehensive patient record. Now they were having more conversations, right, if necessary, with the additional physicians who were around this patient. Now they could spend more time on the outliers. And here is the cool part. All of a sudden, now you all may not think this way, but there are huge swaths of rural India, rural China, rural parts of the country and world, right, where you don't always have a radiologist that's local, right? You have a machine. You need to be able to just scan a person, get your best guess, and see if you can help them because you need to see if you're going to move them forward or get them. So now you're able to do some things, at least as a preliminary screen, where you didn't have the availability of a physician that was never possible before, right? So you think about in every area, we're like scared of it on one hand, but on the other hand, think about what AI and education could do. Think about what AI, even in coaching, could do, right? Because there's some of these things that we talk about, even us, some of these that there's a basic level of, and then some of us it's very specialized to the human that you're working with. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's really exciting because it used to be that professionals, coaches included, realtors, engineers, whatever, we were valued, we were rewarded up to now for what we knew. Years of experience, certifications, my knowledge base, right? But with AI, none of that is going to matter as much because AI now knows everything times, umpteen zillion times of what a human could know. So the people are like, well, if I'm not rewarded for what I know, what else am I? And I'm like, your love, your ability to connect with humans. Like, let the bots do all the number crunching, all the coding, all the if this, then that, all the scenario, like, so you can sit calmly with a client and listen instead of, oh my God, what do I say next? That anxiety that a lot of professionals feel like they have to know stuff. Most clients are totally fine if you don't know anything. You can, I'll get back to you, and what takes like 10 seconds or whatever to get some information. So it becomes a very up-leveled way, to your point, of serving patients. The data is showing that, I know that study you're talking about with radiologists,
Mhm.
the AI is actually better in terms of detecting things.
Mhm.
But what happens is that the radiologist skill set, what they add value is the ability to talk to humans about, a more holistic view of not just their little exam, but let me hear about the rest of you, you know, all these other parts that are integral to good care, because otherwise you get siloed. Cardiologist says this, radiologist says that, GP says this. Who's putting it together?
Right. No, exactly. Well, and so I'm going to ask you all as an audience to think about, on a scale of 1 to 10, where's your comfort level when talking about AI in your business? Because one of the things that is going to be really important for you as a leader in your business is to be very comfortable with AI as an overall topic, to understand where it is in your, like, you cannot, it's unwise for you to be blind in this area. If you're the type of person who's like, oh, what, technology is not for me, like that's a limiting belief.
Yeah, and I'll just say there's so much overwhelm in the business world right now with AI. Like I said, everyone's like, oh my God, I need to do this. Just implement. And there are different kinds of AI. Right now, the AI that's got the public excited right now, there's this whole rush for tools, image generation. I can do this with audio. That is like 2%, right? There's generative, but there's also another level that's coming up where prompt engineering is going to be critical. People can spend a month developing a good prompt because so if you've been out there as a business owner and you've played with chat gpt, you've tried a few prompts, good on you. You're not scared of chat. Most businesses are delving into chat, but the limitation I'm seeing over and over is people don't know how to structure good prompts. It's a science, and it can go as deep as you want. You can be PhD level or you can be kindergarten. So this idea that I've seen on a lot of business Facebook groups, just talk to it like it's a human. I'm like, oh my God, like if you talk to it like it's just your friend, you'll probably get results that are, so the science of being able to ask for exactly what you want, especially when the data keeps changing, the science keeps changing. I'm like, that's what, like, get some help, to save you a lot of time. Whether you are looking for AI for yourself, like if we got coaches on the call, maybe you want to become a better coach. Well,
Mhm.
heck, AI can look at your sessions and say, hey, in this area, the client seemed a little bit lost, or maybe slow down your questioning here. Or maybe that analogy wasn't quite as clear. Like you could develop better skills. One thing that some of my coach clients are doing is that they're giving questions to their clients in between appointments because AI really can't replace a coach. Not really. I know a lot of coaches are worried about that, but you can give your client homework, journal, what's a limiting belief I might be exploring. And so in between appointments, clients can get a lot of value for not a lot of cost. And then when they show up to work with you, they have another level of depth that they can explore because then they need someone to really listen and human. That is really useful. Or you can use AI to build your business, your marketing message, your courseware, your like all this stuff, the business. You can use AI to optimize your business. So, for example, some realtors I was working with, as Brew, as I was talking, I was just thinking about it. People like these portfolio managers, they crank zillions of data about the marketplace. Don't need to do that anymore. Let the AI do that so you can spot trends faster. You can see predictions. You can all this sophisticated stuff where they used to have to use two or three different things and crank it together. Da, 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 da. Much easier now. You can use AI for your next offer. What is the market primed for? What are the top 10 pain points of this particular group? Boom. You can use AI for research in science. And these are the people that are cranking zillions of data points for
Yeah.
vaccine, research. And that's where the latest chat, I think it's $200 a month. It's for people doing academic research. You can get I mean, this could really help humanity. But to your point, if we don't harness it with love and ethics, would we want the machines running the world? Probably not. So
Yeah.
that's my
So I
little,
think I
yeah.
think that I'll have to share with you all as a business leader. So one of my roles at IBM Watson was reviewing AI investments. Okay. So one of the things I think is a misnomer about AI is we think it can solve like every problem, right? It has to have massive amounts of data. And it needs to actually solve a problem it can solve, right? So there are some things where you just need to know things that only a human can know. We'll use the example of like even closing a deal with someone. You can have AI really kind of profile a person down to like, oh, female of this age from this background, but but there's also then the reading of the human, the actual interaction. Oh, you don't know that she just went through a divorce. You don't know that she has these child, right? There is a value to that. So here's the challenge. Here's a challenge for all of us as business leaders. We get to be the definition, the leader of the business as to when am I going to introduce something that's from AI and when not, right? Like, where is it actually going to have value in my organization and where not? And I guess the challenge with that, Adele, that I'd go to you with or ask you about is it is overwhelming, right? Like right now, if I go in, I did this week, I was like looking up something in AI, and you'll see like just hundreds of apps or many, many, many options, right? And maybe you're just looking for, I just want eye correction in a video, right? Like whatever, right? Or, it can be as serious as, look, I'm looking at whether or not I should outsource all of my marketing investment, you know,
Uh-huh.
into this AI app that I'm seeing, and it sounds really good, and I read about it, and I'm not sure if I should do it. Adele, how do you stay abreast as to everything that's going on? Or is that something
Love
you
this.
do for people? Like how do
This is the number one question I get everyone's overwhelmed. Where do I start? Because every day there's a new tool. And what I typically do is let's keep it simple. So people hire me for simplicity, clarity, and the cheapest option. So sometimes it's like, okay, given this, you're a business owner. Where's your biggest time suck? Like, if we could look at the top 5 things that just are a pain in the butt, let's look at where we can get the biggest gains for the lowest buck investment. And start with just one process. So I was just talking to a client as a business owner. She hates what's required of her for onboarding staff. They're a recruiting firm, right? And so they're like, oh my God, like every time someone comes on board, we got to do all this. And I'm like, do you have SOPs? Do you have standard? We haven't had time to do it. I'm like, get the AI to write your SOPs. So then we go, if I were to talk to them and we spend 10 hours a week on trying to write a manual, trying to customize. We want everyone to do it the same way. This group came from this company, this group came from that company. They have different ideas. Oh my God, culture shock, all this. I said, let's start with that. And then the first thing I do is I just listen. What is your process? 9 out of 10 times people don't even have a process yet. Well, we just sort of, I'm like, well, let's start with a process. They're looking for the AI tool before they know their process. So if let's get the processes mature, flow it out, flow chart and all that, you know, your workflow. And then we're going, is there a tool out there in the marketplace that already has this problem solved? Cheap. Okay, there are 5 SOP software or AI tools. Which one best fits? So I go out there and research. Sometimes people need something more customized, especially in larger organizations. You have this particular CRM, you've got this particular call center software, you've got this particular hiring problem. So it depends on the organization. But I always say the simple answer is start with one process. Try not to AIify your whole business. And then from that process, pick the one that's the biggest time suck. You know, people usually know what that is. It might be your email, it might be hiring, it might be, oh my God, I need to create all this content for our, you know, social media. I'm like, oh my God, okay, let's start with that. Quantify how many hours is this taking you? How much do you think that costs you? Like we have to have an ROI because if only 10%, I just had this conversation with someone today. He wanted to AIify his content gen, you know, for
Mhm.
social media
Yeah,
and all.
yeah, yeah. Very common.
But I said, but how much time is that taking? And he said, yeah, well, I probably put out one post a week. Like, I can get you an AI engine to do that, but if it's not going to really save you a lot of time, let's focus on like your back office accounting, like this problem you have with QuickBooks, because he was getting stuff from different places and he had to go in a spreadsheet. Like maybe that would be a bigger ROI. So it depends. We can't always say image generation is going to solve everybody's content gen problems. It's like depends on what kind of business, how much time you're spending, what is the strategic objective? You know, do you want AI to bring in new leads? Are you trying to warm up your existing list? You could use I had a conversation the other day with someone who wanted AI to help wake up and empty a list that had fallen asleep, right? He looked in, he said, nobody's reading my newsletter, they're bored. I'm like, well, have we used AI to figure out which articles people like, right? So if you're a vet and you send out all these e-zines, what topics are people most interested in? And whatever that is, write another one that's like that. So AI can do that for you so that you produce more customized a newsletter where it comes into someone's inbox and people are like, oh my God, it's about parakeets. I have a parakeet. Let me go read that. Well, and
You
watch your
know,
content go
you know
up.
what? It's so crazy. I sat here and I thought, you know what? It's going to eventually become to know where you're going to know how to write the right email for the person. You know, it's almost like an auto-generated email for that particular person in your newsletter on your topic. Whoa.
If you really want to be sexy, what some people are doing now, it takes a little bit of engineering with the AI tools. But so I have a client who's a publisher, magazine publisher, wants to get more ads. So she spends her days going around trying to get sponsorships for her magazine. And she sends out a standard newsletter. Hey, our going rates for an 8 by 10 ad is XYZ. No one's reading it. And I said, what would happen if the AI engine could go in and query each client, each customer that you're writing? Oh, this is a fitness magazine. So, oh, you have a Pilates studio. Oh, you're a weight loss coach. Like, so before you send out this standard email that everybody's reading, so that weight loss people aren't interested in Pilates, and Pilates aren't interested in weight loss as much. They all get different kinds of emails because the
Right.
AI goes in there and says, "Oh, you're a Pilates studio, so I'm going to write something," and then it searches the web and says, "You won an award in Atlanta last year for the top Pilates studio." So it'll write something. Congrats on it. So it looks really customized. And so
Yeah.
you can imagine what happens when that customer opens up their email and gets something custom written. They knew that I won an award. And then I'm a Pilates studio. And then there's a special for 15% off, like all this. It's
Right.
it's
As long as it's positive and not the fact that I was incarcerated, right?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, golly.
it's really
Okay.
fascinating now.
Yeah. Now, so here's the point, I think, right, of all this. The AI is a tool. It doesn't replace your leadership. In fact, it almost enhances that you have yet another employee, right? Meaning yet another resource. If you thought you had like 2 or 3 employees, now you have, 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 additional AI, tools that you got to figure out if you need or how much to use them or if they're failing, right? If you're using AI and it's not working. So Adele, tell us a little bit about what you're giving people for free, because I think getting to work with someone like you through these challenges, I mean, we're not experts. I'm not an expert. No one.
Nobody right now. I just know a little because I'm in I've been certified by one of the top programs in the world, hundreds of hours in this. So and I'm still just every day like what came in, oh my God, now Google's doing this and Gemini's doing that. I mean, I spend my days staying current to serve my clients. So I'm offering just a free webinar if you are like totally lost, don't worry. And even if you know a little bit, I guarantee you probably don't know the latest versions of stuff coming out. So what if you've been using chat for the last, I don't know, 6 months, chat has changed. The prompt engineering science is moving so fast. Come get the latest. I will probably be offering some advanced prompt engineering programs in the future because it's so powerful. But you need to sit
Gotcha.
down and figure that out. So yeah, it's coming up on January, I think I said the 28th. I'll put it
Okay.
in. Yep,
Okay.
just drop in, ask questions. And I tell everybody it's like Disney World. I'm going to demo some stuff from different industries. You'll watch the stuff get created in front of you. And you might know, oh, that might be where I start. Just simple.
All right. Well, thank you. I so appreciate that. And check out, I think is the event, the link that we have, does that also go to your website or?
It's just to the Zoom.
Okay. But adelewang.com, right?
It's
So
on
I
my site.
think if you're interested in any other sort of programming around helping you or supporting you towards really just figuring out your AI game, right? It's again, it's like another strategy, right? Your sales strategy, your marketing strategy. What's your AI strategy this year?
I'm just applauding everybody. If you're listening, the fact that you listen to this, you're ahead of the game. Because it's so easy to just tune out because it's so big.
It
But
is, it is. But you
chat,
help it make it smaller. You'll help it make it smaller.
it's easy. Yeah,
Thank
but
you, Adele,
great.
so much.
Oh,
Thank you so
love
much
you
for your
all.
time
Thank you.
today. Awesome.